put that on. And we've got it. We've got it. We've got it. It's everything we wanted. So Roy Montrose and John Smith from the Rockin' Relics. Welcome, welcome, welcome all over again. And,
Good.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you for having us.
Oh, it's great to have you. Great to have you. And we'll talk to John a little bit now about what he can tell us about, you know, your more recent experiences of playing in the area. Now, you were saying off air about some of the charity work that the band does.
Yes.
So, you know, what kind of charity work? You mean, are you playing at various gigs for charity purposes?
Yes, it's mostly the charities we've done has been with Keith Hubbard for cancer research.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything we do is for charity. We've done the Formby Festival for charity. We done one up in, where was that other place, Roy? We played in that field. Anyway, that was for charity.
I know there's something you do in Mugull, isn't there? Something, is it in Mugull?
St George's in Mugull, yeah, that's for
the
cancer
one.
research.
I know I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, it's the last time we played there, you couldn't get in the place. It was chocker.
There is something going on, but that's not to interrupt you just at this stage, because you know they're the kind of things that you're kind of getting into now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously between paid gigs. Now you're getting paid gigs as well, I believe. Yeah.
Not so many. We don't. We try to shy away from them if we can.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right.
It's mostly with cars, you know, the gear around. We're all too old for that sort of stuff now.
Yeah. So most of these kind of gigs all have the equipment in place.
Yes.
You're not lugging around the heavy equipment.
No, just your guitar.
Just turn up, plug in.
Yeah, and away you go.
And away you go. And that's what we like now.
That's what we need, because we're all too old to be carrying big amps and stuff around.
Yeah.
Although we do have
our
own amplifiers and stuff. Yeah, and it's not so bad for me because I stand at the back all the time. It's Roy that's at the front.
Yeah.
So any rotten tomatoes or stuff like that, he gets them.
So they go straight. They not go straight past him? And
no. I make sure I stand behind Peter. So if they miss Roy, they'll hit Peter before he gets them.
I should tell you, there's 6 people on the stage when they come to Lanky Cats. So you know the stage is quite full. I don't think we could get. You know, it's just about right size, isn't it? That's about it.
It is.
We could do with some planning permission for an extension, actually. Yeah.
Great place to play, Lanky Cats.
So Roy, I mean, this charity work that you're doing, you were telling me before off air about this kind of thing that you were doing for Keith Hubbard and what he did in return for you. What was that all about?
Yeah, well, we got to know Keith about 5 or 6 years ago. We've been very fortunate in that once musicians have joined us, and some of them have left for various reasons, and we've always replaced them with a, dare I say, a better musician.
Right.
With the result that each time we've had a musician in and out, the musician that's come and then gone, they've actually left a little legacy of their own within the band. They brought the freshness into the band of their view of music. So we've got a whole combination. We're very lucky now because we've got the 6 lads in the band, and we've been together now for about 3 years.
Yeah.
6 of us, all of us.
Yeah.
And I have to say that the 2 lead guitarists that we have on board now at the moment, Wally Griffiths and Bernie Prescott, particularly Bernie. Bernie's brought us up another peg, you know.
He certainly has. I was going trying not to mention Bernie, but he has. He's gone up another notch since you got him in.
Absolutely.
And he plays a particular kind of guitar that sounds so sweet, quite unique, that guitar. And he plays a mandolin as well, doesn't he? In the band?
He plays mandolin, yeah.
So that gives you, again, this dimension, this freshness.
It gives another dimension altogether,
yeah. And it's, you know, the rest of you have kind of gone along and moved up a gear, if you like, haven't you? You've moved. In fact, you've moved up several gears in 3 years, haven't you?
Well, every time we go to Lanky Cats, particularly, there's a couple of guys there that we've got to know very well now. And, every time we finish the night, they're always very complimentary. They always say you're better than last time, you know. So it's
and it's true.
It's very positive,
I think it's true what they're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's delightful to have and see you grow. And I hope, and keep my fingers crossed, that that's got something to do with Lanky Cats as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we got to know, well, I did anyway. Peter in the band already knew Keith Hubbard. I got to know Keith through Lanky Cats, and I consider him to be a friend now, and I hope the feeling's mutual.
Yeah. And you did a gig with him, didn't you?
Well, in the early days, because we had problems keeping all the lead guitarists for whatever reason, Keith stood in for us about 3 times.
He has,
yeah, about 3 times. And,
I remember that. I remember Keith standing in.
Yeah, not just there, in other places as well.
Yeah.
And, so we've been very, very fortunate. You know, anyway, getting back to your original question, we did a charity, a cancer research charity do for Keith. It's Ormskirk.
And he's big on this, isn't he?
Very big.
He's big on cancer research because he's had the problems as well.
Yes, and still has, I think.
And still has, and he's in remission, isn't he?
Yes.
From prostate cancer.
I don't think he minds us talking about it, no.
Yeah, but he just, he's kind of life to the full. He's full of beans all the time. And if he's not playing, he must be sleeping. That's what I reckon.
He's just an all-round good egg.
I know. And you did this gig with him. He's a particular kind of nice...
He rung me and said, would you like to do a cancer research gig for us? And I said, yes. And he said, it's a paid gig. He said, but it won't be much. So I said, okay, do we need to bring equipment? And he said, no, all the equipment will be there in place. So we went along.
Yeah.
And we did the gig. And at the end of the night, he came and put what can only explain as a roll of £20 notes in my hand and said, they are. And I said, what's that for? And he said, it's for playing tonight. So I said to him, well, it's a charity, we thought we'd do it for nothing. And he said, no. So I went to the guys, they were all sitting down, and I went over and I said, Keith's just give us this. I said, personally, I'm happy to put my share back into the kitty. And all the rest of the lads said, yeah, that's fine. To a man, no hesitation. Yeah, just throw the money back. So I went up to Keith and I said to him, you know, take the money back. And he said, what's this? And I said, well, we just put it back in the kitty. So he thanked us. And about 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, he came up to see us and said, just as a thank you for that, would you like to come down to my recording studio? And you spend the day with me and we'll do 3 or 4 tracks for you as a thank you.
And these are the tracks,
these
aren't
are
they?
the tracks,
That's what we're playing at the moment. We'll play the next one. That was a good lead in that.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a very good lead in that. I thought that was pretty good. So here it is. And this one is called Sailing. And it was written by Mike Oldfield, am I right?
Mike Oldfield. And it was recorded by a young guy by the name of Luke Spiller.
Yeah. Great voice.
Yeah, excellent.
The reason I cut it off because I've got a bloody great tickle in the throat.
That's horrible, isn't it?
Let me out.
Something.
I can't breathe. Gotta get out of this concrete hole. I'm wrecked. I'm decked. Gotta break free before I lose control. Cast the line away from the dock of the harbor bay. All those cares and worries of woe, you can save them for another day. 'Cause we're
that's so nice, isn't it? And everybody raises their hands when they go sailing, hands in the air, sailing. And Droid's just saying, sometimes we don't kind of put our hands in the air, and then people indignantly walk up and say, "Hey, you didn't put your hands in the air." We're looking forward to all that.
Yeah.
I know. Strange, isn't it? Strange world we live in, you know.
Absolutely.
But I know Alan here's got another little story to say. And I wish I could talk to Alan, but Alan's gone
John.
now, so we'll talk to John instead. I know about that for riddling out of a
Well
mistake.
sidestepped,
Yeah.
Bill. Well sidestepped.
Sidestep that. So, hello, John.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I believe you have a tale of the Cavern Club to tell us.
Yes, it was. If we knew then what we know now,
Yeah.
I'd be worth a fortune.
Yeah.
We were playing on the Cavern with the Beatles. It was their first show after they'd made.
What band was it playing on?
Johnny Ringo and the Colts we were in.
Johnny Ringo and the Colsters.
Yeah,
You've got
Colts. Colts, the small horse.
Oh,
Like
right.
like a small horse.
Right. And have you got a brick in the wall?
We have. There's 2 bricks in the wall, actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
So we're sitting in the waiting room, waiting to go on after the Beatles.
Yeah.
They came off. They had black leather trousers and red shirts, and they were all covered in sweat with the heat in
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
They took the shirts off and threw them in the corner, saying it's the last time we'll wear them. And I thought, if I'd have known then what I know now,
Yeah.
I could have collected all them shirts together.
4 Beatle red shirts. I can't
Yes.
imagine the Beatles in red shirts. Somehow.
Yes, black leather trousers
But-
and red
yeah,
shirts.
yeah.
That's when Ringo Starr was with them. Pete Best had already left.
Had you? So you played with the famous lineup, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I played it a few times with
Yeah,
the Beatles.
great,
Yeah.
great. I mean, did you kind of come into contact with them while you were there? Just say,
Yeah.
"Hiya, lads."
Oh no, we used
how
to
you
sit in the
doing?"
dressing rooms chatting away.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Yeah, they were just like normal lads.
And what were they like? Were they that good?
They were brilliant,
Were they?
absolutely. As a matter of fact, after the nights at the Cavern, you'd go out into the night air,
Yeah.
into Church Street,
Yeah.
and there'd be Paul McCartney and George Harrison waiting for the bus to
Yeah.
go back home to Allerton, where they used to live.
Fantastic.
You know, it's,
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Good night, lads. Good night.
Is it,
Good night,
yeah,
John.
it was right, yeah.
Good night,
yeah.
Paul. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night. See you, boys. See you.
You used to have an
Just
old,
see it, can't you?
an old Ford Thames van,
Yeah.
which used to put all the gear in the back, and Pete Best, the drummer, and his mate used to go with the van and
Yeah.
take all the stuff away,
Right.
and everyone else made their own way home.
Oh, I never knew that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought they all might have piled in on top of the equipment in the back.
Oh
of the van,
no, no,
Like we used to do.
no. You used to get the bus.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great little story, that, isn't it? Right. Have you got anything like that?
Not as good as that, I must admit, but we played with the Beatles on the Majestic in Birkenhead around about
Yeah.
1961, I think.
Yeah.
And they used to have the Beatles played residency there of a Friday night, and every week they had a guest band on. And this particular week we were the guest band, and we did our set, and they came and did their set. And at the end of the night, we were round the back. John's had talked about an old Thames van. We had an old Thames van, and
Yeah.
you could just about get the gear in. You couldn't get anybody else in.
Yeah.
No.
Only the gear. So all the gear was going in, and there was a bit of a commotion just round the corner. So Roy Morris, the lead guitarist out of our band, he went round, popped his head round the corner, and had a look, and there was 3 lads, and they had Paul McCartney up against the wall.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and he had, I always remember it, he had a big heavy dog tooth check overcoat on,
Yeah.
and he was up against the wall, and he was going, trying to reason with them, you know.
Kind of back off, back
Yeah,
off, back off.
so Roy came round and said, come on lads. So there's 5 of us, you're down, she said, you know, basically on your way,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And he just said, well, like that, Paul, thanks lads, I owe you one, and just walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not well recorded, and the downside of some of the rock and roll that was going on
No.
was the Bother Boys, or whatever, I can't think of the name, the violence and the gangs and young men in gangs and things like that. I've read a book by a famous Liverpool entrepreneur who's recently left us, and I'm just struggling to find his name, but in his book he tells you all about some of the gangs that were going around following these venues and getting hold of anybody for any excuse and beating them up.
Well,
as it were.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I didn't see a lot of it, but in this particular instance I did witness it.
Yeah.
And it's stupid when you think back. But as John just hit the point there before, in those days, people just can't get their heads round that they were just ordinary lads. They weren't famous.
I know.
No, they just played around Liverpool. I mean, they were very popular around the Liverpool area. I'm sure around the Northwest in general. But they were just ordinary lads, you know. Just see me on the bus.
Well, that was the charm, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because they were like us. All the movie stars, pop stars, you name it, all seemed to be kind of a I don't know how you describe this. It's hard to describe really, but they didn't seem ordinary people. Elvis, I can't imagine Elvis looking ordinary in whatever way you look at him.
No.
When he was a young lad growing up, I believe it was a farming community where he grew up in
Mississippi, wasn't it?
But so I just can't. I'm just trying to put my head around it to see, you know, because they were just, like I said, ordinary lads, but they were potentially grammar school lads, weren't they? What I would call a grammar school lad, because Liverpool Institute is basically another name for a grammar school, isn't it? And John Lennon went to Liverpool.
He went to the art school, John Lennon,
and then was it Paul that went to the Institute?
Yes,
something like that.
He did, yeah.
George, where did he go? Did he go?
George went to the one of the grammar schools. I can't remember which one it was now.
I know Ringo didn't do much schooling at all because he was always being ill, wasn't he? He was a frail lad.
He was,
and he wasn't very healthy as a young man. And he's come through all that now, and luckily he got the fame he deserved. I think the band themselves. But anyway, we're not talking about the Beatles tonight. We're talking about the Rockin' Relics.
The Rockin' Relics. That's us,
yeah. And I'm Bill Hart, and I'm on the Lanky Beat Live Show. And just to remind you that where you are. And of course, we're going to play another track now because this is the third one, and it's called "Looking Out of My Back Door." I don't know this one, right?
That's a Creedence Clearwater Revival number.
Is it?
John Fogerty,
John Fogerty. Oh, well, let's have a listen.
It's one of the lesser known numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a go at it.
Just got back from Illinois, locked the front door, oh boy. Got to sit down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in, pretty soon I'm singing. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. There's a giant doing cartwheels, statue wearing high heels. Look out, all those happy creatures dancing on the lawn. Dinosaur Victrolia, listening to Buck Owens. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. Tambourines and elephants, they're playing in the band. I want to take a ride on the flying spoon. Wondrous apparition provided by magicians. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. Tambourines and elephants, they're playing in the band. Oh, to take a ride on the flying spoon. Bother me tomorrow, today I'll buy no sorrow. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. Forward trouble, Illinois, lock the front door, oh boy. Look out, all those happy creatures dancing on the lawn. Bother me tomorrow, today I'll buy no sorrow. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. Do-do-do, looking out my back door. Do-do-do, looking out my back door.
the Rockin' Relics there. Look at my back door, John Fogerty, very famous for the Creedence Clearwater Revival. And what was the main song they ever did?
I Want to Know If You Ever Seen the Rain.
Yeah.
What the others, John?
Bad Moon Rising.
Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah. That's about the most prominent one, I think, that what I can remember. Anyway, what we've got now is a nice little treat, because John has mentioned that he listened to my show a while ago, and he said, Bill, you played something by a woman, and it sounded great, and I couldn't remember the name of it, and such like. And I said, I think you're talking about Northern Girl by A.D. Cook, or Andrea Cook, as it were. Excuse me. And she said, oh, it was great, it was great. And I said, it certainly was. I mean, if I know what Andrea is all about, we enjoy it too. We always enjoy Andrea. And the particular track that I played, I think, was Northern Girl. It could have been another one called Roll With Me, or it could have been Till We're Old. I know those are my 3 favourite tracks at the moment. So anyway, here's Northern Girl for you, and wrap your ears around this. It's fantastic. Andrea Cook. Now then, that's the first time I've ever kind of broken the rules and played somebody else's song whilst I'm interviewing somebody. Come
back, John. He didn't mean it.
that's because John had a request, and would I play it again? And there you go. And
That's a great record.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Great record.
Very
yeah.
nice.
First time I heard it.
Yeah, you'll find Andrea Cook on loads of YouTube clips and things like that, and I've got her on my Lanky Beat website as track of the month at the moment, track of the month for November, and it'll be up there till the end, so you can always tune into the video on there, which is a nice little video as well.
To that, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, back to the Rockin' Relics. That's the main thing, and what we're dealing with now. I mean, we've gone through a little bit of what you're doing up to date wise, and I'm going to take you back in terms of time. Roll back the years now, and go back to when you first kind of kicked off, the pair of you, and how things happened for you, and you develop your skills of vocals and bass playing and such like back then. What happened to you, John?
Right, so I hadn't played the bass for about 40 years. I'd stopped when I was in early 20s.
Yeah.
Got married and children, and
As you do, yeah.
I never played. I started going to the Sailors Club at the bottom of the M62, where I met Roy and Peter.
Right.
Now, I still hadn't played because I didn't have a guitar.
When you say you met him for the first time
Yes,
ever? You didn't
yes.
know him?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know him from Adam.
No.
I didn't have a guitar at the time. My daughter, I was telling her stories about when I used to play, and she asked what sort of guitar I had, and I said I had an Eco, like what Paul McCartney's got. I didn't have a Hofner in them days, it was an Eco.
I have an Eco guitar,
Yes.
a 6-string. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an Eco.
Yeah.
Come Christmas, she bought me a Hofner,
Yeah.
and my wife bought me an amp.
Wow.
Only a practice amp, but it started. So I knew Roy and Peter used to practice in Peter's house in McGull. So I said, would it be all right if I came along and sat in? I still couldn't play a note. I'd forgot.
Had you forgotten?
I'd forgot the notes on the fretboard, I'd forgot everything. But when we got together, things started to slot into place, and we started to make a couple of songs together, and it sort of rolled on from there.
Yeah.
Then we started jamming together, and then we had formed a small band, and we brought another guitarist in. We brought in a fella called Les, who I used to play with in the 60s.
Yeah.
Great guitarist. And he brought us on a lot, but for some reason he decided he'd had enough.
Yeah.
And just wanted
Yeah.
to.
But you know, your development is coming together like this, and I mean, you're getting the buzz back, weren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All this buzz
yeah.
was coming back from
Yeah.
whatever it went, disappeared, and then all of a sudden
That's
you
right.
refound yourselves.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what things were happening as far as you're concerned, Roy?
Well, it's like most kids of the late 50s, I was heavily influenced by mainly by Jerry Lee Lewis. I must admit, I loved him, and Elvis and all the rest of the rest of the rock and rollers at that time. And one day, my good friend who lived next door but once, and he played bass in a band. I think we were both 16. He came knocking on the door and said, "Our band needs a singer. The singers joined the army." So I went down and no audition, nothing. I just jumped in, and we used to play Burton Chambers in Walton Road. It's Burton's Tailors.
Yeah.
They had a big hall above it, and every Saturday night they used to have a dance.
Yeah.
And we used to play their residence of
Right.
I was 16. All the lads in the band were about the same age, you know.
Yeah. And you were your lead vocal then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be
Yeah.
a singer in the band. Never play an instrument, you know.
Yeah. But
So
you
then-
do play a bit of.
I do play a bit of guitar now, yeah. So it sort of went from there. Eventually, I saw an advert in the Mersey Beat, Bill Harry's Mersey Beat,
Right.
and it was an instrumental group called the Midnights, and they were asking for a vocalist. So I rang up the number that was in there, made arrangements to go to Morton, that's where they all lived, and I got up there and I did an audition with them, and I think they might have been heavily influenced about the fact that I was the only one that applied. I was the only one that applied for the job, so I got the job by default, really. And I was with them for 3 or 4 years. They went on to be with me initially. We did half the band split up. They actually sacked 2 of the lads. 3 of us moved on. And we went with another 2 lads from another band called the Renegades, and we became the Coubas.
Now, I know the Coubas.
The Coubas are one hell of a band.
Yeah.
Or they were one hell of a band.
Right.
In the I did a couple of gigs with them, and in the very early stages, basically, I got elbowed out.
Really?
They used the excuse that I was serving an apprenticeship at the time, and they used the excuse that they wanted to go pro and they wanted to go on the circuit, which they were good enough to do. But what about you? Because you're serving your apprenticeship, aren't you? So, but I dropped out eventually. It was a sort of half shove.
Yeah, well, everybody got this feeling they should be now ready to go professional, as it were. You serving your time as an apprentice, you weren't seen as being professional musician material because of it, because you put your priority on the apprenticeship, wouldn't you? And so
absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So would I, because there was so much uncertainty in the music business. How could you possibly?
Well, they were offered 2 contracts, and it was it was Hamburg, which was the usual route, and another one was for the American air bases in Germany.
Yeah.
But after that, there was nothing. You see, so I thought, well, you know, it's not.
Yeah, they had stars in their eyes, and they went along with it. And
however, I think if I'm brutally honest, they would have got rid of me anyway, because they ended up a 4-piece band. The Beatles came to prominence then, and of course, 4-piece bands with close harmony with the was the going thing, and they were very good at it, you know. So
they weren't bad, were they?
No, they were excellent. So I then moved on, and I went. I formed a duo with a friend of mine. We were called the Copperfield Duo. Then I went with my brother. We were called Take Two. Then I went guitar vocal. I was called Roy Malcolm. I knew 4 chords. I thought it was the bee's knees.
Right.
And how I got away with going down the clubs on 4 chords and singing, I don't know. Yeah. But I did for about 4 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
So
that's just great news. That's great news.
But I get more of a buzz now with these guys than I ever.
I can see it. I can see it.
Did, yeah.
You're on stage. You're giving it. Yeah. And you're performing. You look great when you're on stage. And the audience love you, and what more is there to ask for? I mean, it's great. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just listen to this, and we'll wind up.
Our song is your song.
Our music is your music.
We care about you.
Your music and your friends. Music soft and low, just for you.
Hospital Radio, the best company.
Yes, you're in the best company, there's no doubt about that. But we've have to take our leave of your company shortly. We've got a couple of minutes just to kind of, before we wind up, and say our thank yous to Roy and John. They've been fantastic. We've not managed, I told you we wouldn't manage to play them 4 tracks, and we've not managed to squeeze the last track in. But no worries, because I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I don't know about you two. Any good?
Excellent, yeah. Thanks for asking us, but we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And good luck to all the folks out there. Hope they're all getting better.
Yeah, I know. We're thinking of you there, and you're tucked up in your bed, and pull them sheets up. And ruffle them pillows, I
said to John coming in that if they don't feel ill now after listening to us, they'll probably feel ill.
That is not fair. That's not fair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining. This has been Lanky Beat Live with Bill Hart. We've had guests, Roy Montrose, and the other guest who's just gone is John. But we've got Alan here instead of him. All right, so
now you're confusing us.
Now you're confusing you. John Smith, thank you very, very much. Roy Montrose, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Bill.
You're welcome.
It's been a great pleasure.
Yes.
A great pleasure. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves too. Meanwhile, we'll be back shortly, sometime down the line in the near future, and we'll just line this up and play out the theme of our usual theme, and love you and leave you. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.